Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of TaxProTalk or hashtag
TPT.
TPT. I am Robbie Randall, your host, along with Jim Buffington.
Great
Hi,
to be
Jim.
here, Robbie.
Excellent. And with us, who do we have today, Jim?
We have Josh Lance with Lance CPA in Chicago. They're a leading firm that does business advisory there. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Hey, Josh, welcome.
Thanks.
So we're going to just dig right in. It's a short episode, so we're going to get right to it. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Excellent. Josh, you are in Chicago. We know Chicago is one of the hardest hit right now. How has that affected your advisory business?
Yeah. So, with everything going on, we specialize in craft breweries, which obviously, they're a hospitality industry and they're hard hit from this. So we've, kind of jumped right in and served our clients. And, we've been doing things that we may have done maybe in the past a little bit before, but are really focusing in on now, things like cash flow advisory, helping them out with their PPP loan applications and figuring out what they want to do there, but also getting stuff like HR advisory services and helping them plan for tax credits and all that. So it's been like a whirlwind of getting off some of the business tax season and then jumping into this and getting our feet wet here. So our goal here with this whole thing is just to make sure our clients survive through it, and we're going to walk through them each step of the way. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is great. So for you, because you were already engaged with these clients on a regular monthly basis,
that's right.
Delivering advisory. Now you're just delivering different services for the COVID legislation and some of the tax stimulus stuff. So how did you sort of shift from tax season, tax preparation into doing this? Anything best practices to share?
It was a quick shift, but I think really what we saw immediately once it started to hit was cash flow being an issue, right? So I don't think a lot of businesses plan for a pandemic in their cash flow. Most of them had very little cash flow in hand, or just kind of riding by the seat of their pants. And now it's like, okay, well, if our business gets disrupted, or if we can't do what we're supposed to do or normally do to sell our stuff, how do we operate then? And that becomes the big key driver there. And so our first, jump into this before even all the legislation was passed was, let's get some cash flow forecasts done. Let's start figuring out where you're at from a cash flow perspective. Really, in the next 3 months, what's that cash flow shortage that we need to be aware of? If revenue drops 50% or 75% or things like that, and then figure out from there, how do we fill that cash flow shortage? So, as the PPP loans and those things started to come online, we used that to fill that in. Maybe it was, relying on the lines of credit. Maybe it was reducing expenses, things of that nature. So, our first really jump into that was cash flow advisory. And then as we started working through everything else that came through with legislation, it was, okay, how do we use those pieces of the legislation to really help our clients? And, we developed like a PPP versus a employee retention credit calculator where they just put their information in and it would spit out what's the best option for you, right? Because I think all the news is for, hey, it's PPP, it's free money, let's go for it. But that may not be the best option for that business. And depending on how they're operating, the ERC may have been a better option. So let's not try to stress ourselves out talking with banks when we already have a mechanism that's going to work well for us.
Yeah, no, that's great. Much easier to apply for the ERC than the PPP.
That's right.
So that's great. And I love what you said too, is switching into the cash flow forecast. So you all keep all of your clients online, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have access to their information. Did that workflow help you as you had to quickly get information together?
It did, yeah. I mean, the way we operate with our clients is we're in their books each month. We're working with them on a monthly basis, right? So it wasn't trying to assess the situation. We already knew the situation with the client. It's okay, what do we need to look as we go forward here? So that was really helpful in that aspect because that information was there. We've been doing that information. We're doing the bookkeeping for them. So we already had that information ready to roll, and we could roll with it versus trying to, try to figure out what's actually going on and working backwards so we can just work forwards. Like that really helped in like the time frame of this.
That's fantastic. So when I hear PPP, it's typically in a reactionary format, right? We're trying to figure this thing out quickly for the client. And what you just shared was that you've been able to be proactive throughout this process with the client. What are some of the tools and resources that you're using to manage those projects and workflows?
Yeah, so one of the things we utilize is Practice Ignition to engage with all of our clients, particularly as we're adding on these additional services, to engage with them on that, make sure we have those engagement letters. For some we weren't getting paid, for some we were, and so we want to make sure we collect payment on that, and so we did it all through that system. I even worked with Practice Ignition to develop a set of services that accountants could actually put into place. So you didn't have to think about what those services looked like or the scopes on it. It was all set up there. And so if you go to their website, you can actually download that for free from them. But it was getting that set up and then, utilizing one of their workflow tools and starting to get that rolling throughout our team. So making sure that we're engaged, had everyone, on an engagement letter was key, because then we can start agreeing to these services and rocking and rolling on them right away.
Wow. Yeah, I love that. So you basically got a standardized set of services in your menu that you're sending out through Practice Ignition as a proposal.
That's right.
And automatically adding those, whether you're getting paid today or maybe it's a little further down the road, but you're making sure that you're getting paid. And that's so important. We've heard from a lot of pros that they are doing an enormous amount of work and they're not sure if they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
They're not sure how to make this, billable.
Yeah.
A lot of tax and accounting firms are struggling with that.
Yeah, well, I think, sometimes your clients don't realize the work that you're doing for them. Yep. And putting together an engagement letter and having this thing you're agreeing upon, even if it's not, we're getting paid for right now, like, let's put it out there because then your clients are seeing that, like all these things that they're doing for us that's additional or new or in place of something else. And that really helps kind of frame the picture when you're talking about maybe it's 6 months from now, a year from now, where maybe we want to continue these on further and do this on as a more regular basis. We've already agreed to what those look like and what that looks like. And now they know the value of it and we can charge and get our value for that as a result.
Yeah, I love that. And I think too, a lot of tax and accounting pros, we care so much about our clients that we hurt with them when they're down 20%, 50% in revenue. And we feel like it's not fair to ask for money. But what you're doing is you're actually investing in them as clients. And then you can help build this as, of course, in your case, you're already doing it, but an ongoing service so that you can keep on working with this client in that monthly recurring advisory fashion instead of that annual transaction or compliance kind of way, which so many of our firms are struggling to kind of get to. So would love if you've got any tips or tricks to help some of those firms who are in reaction mode today make this full time, make this an ongoing thing, because all those clients that they have need a lot of help building more cash savings for the future.
That's right. I think, we have this really unique advantage as accountants, peering into each of these businesses, knowing what's going on, that we have all this value that we need to give there, right? And so I think for a lot of accountants that are been more the reactionary, we're just going to do taxes on an annual basis, and that's really it. This is that time to really think through, if you're scared about doing advisory or not sure you're doing advisory right, like this is the time to work through that stuff, right? Your clients need your help. They need you just to jump on in. And you have that expertise. And so this is kind of the perfect time to try those things out and see, can I do cash flow forecasting on a regular basis? Is there other services I can provide here that my clients are needing and asking for? Because the reality is they need that help and they don't have anyone else really to turn to. Their lawyer's not going to help them out here. They don't have these people of expertise and knowledge that can step in and say, here's where I can help out. Here's the questions I think we should be asking and thinking through. And that's really what advisory is asking those questions, working alongside them to get those answers. And, even if that's not how your firm is operated, it's very easy to transition to that. And we have the capabilities of doing it. We just have to be able to act on it. And this is the time to do it. This is the opportunity.
Awesome. Love that. Yeah. Already a trusted advisor. So now just step up, be proactive and make that advisory service full time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Josh, thank you for those excellent tips. I think we've all learned a little something today. At the very end of this is an excellent opportunity to use as a jumping off point. I mean, you mentioned it. If you haven't been in advisory before, now is the time to seize the moment and transform your firm and your clients' expectations to an advisory model. Thank you so much for sharing what you did today. Any closing words, Jim?
No. Again, thank you, Josh, for being a best practice firm out there and then sharing your expertise with other peer firms who are really struggling with this stuff today. So thank you.
Yep. No, you're welcome. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Hey, we appreciate you joining us today. We look forward to seeing you all next time on TaxProTalk or hashtag TPT. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Tax Pro Talk, brought to you by Intuit Pro Connect for tax and accounting professionals.
TPT out.
We're done. Go
Good
home.
job.